Hello, it is your sleepless guy back with what if Deku, not back with, but something in another movie. Words are words, okay, brother? But what if Deku's father was a demon? Have I, sometimes, I have to do an Eminem. I have to look back at my videos and make sure I haven't done this before. Even if I have, who gives a shit? Uh, but how we're gonna start this off is we're gonna start in United States of America, actually. We see a younger woman with a child in her arms. Black hair. As you see a massive sword that she's carrying. As she's cloaked. You see her rush off to a boat. A cargo ship, it almost looks like, but smaller. She hops up on board and opens a crate, putting the child and the massive sword inside the crate with it, locking the box, leaving just a little crack for air. She runs off the ship before it leaves. As the ship sails, as the ship goes away to Japan, you see her drop her cloak. As you see a younger woman, about her 19, 20-ish, green hair, as her tears are running down her face. As we're going to do a time skip, about 10 years. You see a younger kid, about the ages of 10 years old. You see him with a massive sword on his back that kid was carrying. But you also see him with two more weapons, a 6-shooter. Almost looks fully loaded. And a fully massive Desert Eagle 50 cal right on his left side. That kid, right now you see the kid running as fast as he possibly can. You see some of their kids running after him as he jumps over a fence. As you see a boy, a little bit older, not by much, and a girl. The little boy has more fancier clothes, but is still ready. And the girl kind of looks a little bit, to say, dirty. Not in the way she dressed, but it just shows that she's not full of wealth. As both of them grab one of them grabs a brick that's Uraka, and one of them grabs a beam, and that's Ida. As Ida slams one of the beams into one of the guy's face, knocking them out, as Uraka uses her gravity quirk to throw it as hard as she possibly can, keeping the thing in momentum, keeping it spinning with low gravity, not fully low gravity, just low gravity. And then when it's gonna smash, bumping it back up to the highest gravity possibly can, and then just hitting him into the face. As Uraraka says, "You gotta stop doing that, Deku." As you see Midoriya, or nicknamed Deku by their friends. "What do you mean? Stop doing what?" As Uraraka says, "You gotta stop getting into fights like that. One of these days," as he says, before even, I could have handled those guys, right? As Ida walks up and says, "You mean you could have killed those guys? But we don't do that. We're heroes. We're supposed to be the new as even Deku is like, I'm no hero. You gotta understand that. I'm a monster with just a little bit more clothing on than normal people do. See, what I really wanted to get as he grabs one of the guys' like pouch and into his jacket, he grabs a lighter and cigarettes as he grabs it and he starts smoking. These, as Ida says, you know those are really bad for you. He says, okay, Ida, I know you're the police around here, but you gotta understand that we all have bad habits. This is mine. We keep myself controlled because of this. As he says, as Haraka says, like, you gotta stop. He says, I know, and I will. At 98 years old. as even Ida kind of laughed at that. As Uraka kind of looks more strict, as Uraka grabs him, picks him up, like completely, and then chucks him into the garbage can. As Deku pops up and says, what the fuck was that for us? Uraka says, you want me to do it again? As Uraka's pissed. As he chucks the cigarette, and onto the ground and crushes it and says, God, understandable, don't smoke around you. Cool. As they start walking, as Ida, after a while, goes down a separate path as Uraka and Midoriya start heading down to their more Uraka's apartment, as Deku lives in the apartment above him. Basically an empty floor. No one lives in there, and it's basically all rusted out. It's an apartment just for him. But Uraka finally, pats Midoriya on the back and says, if you need anything, as before she can even say, he says, I know which situation you're in as much as you know mine. I will never ask you for anything if I can get it myself. As Uraka looks at him, you call yourself a monster, but I think you could be a really good hero. As you see Midoriya kind of flush a little bit, a blush like grace on his face as he looks at her and says, yeah, I guess so. As we're gonna do another time skip of 3 years. As Ida's going to a private school, but Uraraka and Midoriya, or Deku, is going to a public school very close by their neighborhood. Deku just got in because of his because of his genius intellect and because of his cool quirk. Uraraka got in because of her hard work. She really tried to get hard onto the test, everything like that. She went all out, no matter what, and she passed. It's a more fancier public school, but still a pretty. It's a good one for both of them. As on the first day of school, there's a kid named Bakugo who instantaneously noticed Deku as a threat. And the first day of school, Bakugo Katsuki and Midoriya, last name unknown, fought. And Bakugo Katsuki lost with so fast. Now you gotta understand, Midoriya is no coward anymore. He's no baby that cries when the problems get too tough. He's a street rat who's been dealing with problems most of his life. And he's a monster with every efficiency. Bakugo is a kid with a strong quirk. Yeah, that's good and all, but he never had to fight for anything in his fucking life. Everything is hell gave it to him or praised to him. So when Midoriya kicks his fucking ass, it's an awakener for Katsuki. As he lays in a pool with his nose broken, a black eye, bruised legs, bruised arms from the punches, he is now understanding that there are strong people into this world. And to become one of the strong people, he has to train. Now, with the years that go by, Midoriya and all of his friends, Ida, Araka, kind of go closer and closer and closer together. Ida become more of a brother to him than anything else. Family to anything else, more because he has nothing. And Araka becomes his first crush. Never tells her. At the age of 15, he keeps it secret because he doesn't want to ruin their friendship. But, even Katsuki, who, he sort of kind of still despises, he is starting to kind of like because of his brash attitude. And then we go to the last day of school. Now, Midoriya hasn't broken many of his bad habits. He still smokes. He still runs out and does dangerous things no matter what. He still fights people that are bigger than him and supposed to be stronger than him and still crushes them. But he gets good marks. He gets good grades. He gets on time because of Uraraka. He's supposed to do that for her. But on the last day of school, their teacher looks at him and says, well, of course you guys all want to be heroes, but there's only 3 of you that I honestly can believe will become. Uraraka, you signed up for UA, that's nice. As Katsuki kind of smirks a little bit and kind of scoffs as you hear Deku say, if you're going to say something, say it with your full fucking chest. Don't be a bitch about it, okay? As Katsuki looks at him and says, what are you talking about, you fucking nerd? As you're the one, the fucking talk cookbook motherfucker. As both of them look at each other with respect, but knowing that if they got into a fight right now, no one knows who would win. As teacher says, hey, calm down. Do not blow in my classroom. Midoriya, you've also signed up for UA, and I think you will do incredibly well. As Bako, as well, I believe you would do incredibly well in UA, especially in the Hero Division. Your temper is a little bit out of hand. We can see that right now, but if you have great quirk, you should be good. As Bako kind of uses the explosion, says, as Midoriya looks at him and says, shut up. You're no big deal. The Hero Division is going to have many people like you and me and her, and she points over to Uraraka, with our quirks and abilities. We are not special. As Uraraka kind of looks at him and says, oh, yeah, he's facts. This is a factual thing. We're not special. As they get out of class, as Midoriya is walking with Uraraka, going up to meet Ida, as they're walking into kind of a shortcut that they found out into a little tunnel. As they're walking and they're talking oh yeah, so So what are your plans for the hero division? You know, you think you're going to be good and everything like that. As uh, you know, Araka says, "Of course I'm going to be good. I'm, I have to deal with you all the time." As they kind of pat each other, as the conversation stops, as Deku grabs out his 6-shooter, and this is where I start explaining abilities. The power of the 6-shooter goes like this: rounds in the shell go from number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the beginning. Each one of those numbers is a power level of what the shot will, like how much of the shot will be the power of it, and how much fire will come across it. Level 6 is the highest at this point, level 1 is the lowest. But with the ability itself, though, anytime a full mag gets lost for the first time, it will level up by 1. What the level up process do is cross out the lowest number that possible, so 1 at the beginning, and then higher it up by 1. So it'll go up from 6 to 7, and the same process keeps on going. And then you have to shoot 2 times, 2 mags, and then it upgrades again. And then 3 times, and it upgrades again. 4 times, upgrades again. So it keeps on doing that higher and higher and higher until infinity, basically. But if an hour comes where an enemy is not fighting, it will lower back down to the original value. As Araka says, as a slime villain comes out and tries to get Araka, as he says, "Not on my watch," as he cocks the hammer, fires, cocks the hammer, fire, cocks the hammer, fire, cock the hammer, fire. 4 shots at 1. You see a 4, a 5, a 2, and then a 1. As you do 4 massive explosions, and it causes a massive fireball, basically melting the creature itself. As it's starts to wobble a little bit, as he cocks the hammer again and says, "I told you, not her, ever." As he fires, as he gets a number 6 out, you see a massive boom, as the slime is basically unconscious, as you see All Might pull up, as he sees this and says, looks at him and just says, "Holy shit." That's impressive. That's a strong quirk. As he looks at the gun, as you see him unclick the I don't want to say mag because it's not a fucking mag. The cylinder. Thank you, brain. As he looks at it and says, as he puts it back, as he says, "Take it from here, All Might." As All Might does, he takes it from there. As Araka says, "I'm so thankful for you." As Araka starts to flush a little bit, as Midoriya smiles at her and says, "No problem. A knight always have to protect the lady, doesn't it?" As Araka kind of slaps him on the face and says, "Shut up, please." As they finally meet up with Ida, as they start walking, to their favorite bakery, as they hear a massive boom, 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 as Ida, instantly going to overdrive, hits his jets and starts rushing to the area. As Araka says, "Wait, Ida," as Midoriya grabs Araka marriage style and jumps as hard as he possibly can, as he lands right where Ida is, as he sees the slime monster that he tries to get. As Ida looks at it and says, "Holy shit, that's causing massive destruction." As Midoriya's trying to figure out why, not like the slime monster before, as he sees Bakugo. He pulls out his 6-shooter, fully loaded again, puts away the cylinder, puts it back, and hands Araka over to Ida and says, "Please take care of her with your life." So he grabs a cigarette and lights it. As this is where we can end the What If. I hope you guys like it. If you guys want other what ifs to come out, just comment down below. I'll be always here. But thank you very much, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.